We are just hours away from a possible federal government shutdown. What Congress and President Donald Trump are doing about it tonight.
They find themselves thinking about it over and over again.
And a holiday classic gets a high-tech makeover. We're going to take you behind the scenes of Atlanta Ballet's Nutcracker. But first, folks, no survivors after a small plane crash in Atlanta, and that plane was on its way to Memphis, Tennessee, when it went down after taking off from the Fulton County Airport. Our very own Hope Ford's been on that story for us tonight. So, Hope, what can you tell us about the pilot?
Well, we now know that Wee Chin, a pilot who flew around the world in 2011, was one of the people killed. The medical examiner isn't releasing the other names, but the president of one of Chin's companies confirmed the news of his death tonight. Chin was an experienced pilot and a regular at the Millington-Memphis airport where the plane was headed.
That the people that were on board that aircraft generally reside here in the Memphis area.
The plane left just after noon on Thursday, headed for Millington-Memphis Airport, but went down only a mile and a half east of the Fulton County Airport.
I was vacuuming and I just heard this big old explosion and the whole house shook.
The plane, a Cessna V jet Remington, exploded into flames on the ground. Firefighters were met with heavy smoke and fire from the jet fuel. The FAA is investigating why the plane crashed, and Millington-Memphis airport officials say this should have been a routine arrival. Chin, the pilot, has a wife and 3 children not on board the plane. Chin became the first Chinese pilot to fly around the globe in a single-engine plane. During the 10-week trip, Chin stopped in 40 cities in 21 countries to raise money for St. Jude Children's Hospital. And Chin wrote a book in 2013 called Around the World in 69 Days. Now, again, we're waiting on confirmation of the other victims in this crash. A witness we spoke with said it appeared the pilot was trying to guide the plane away from homes, moving side to side before it crashed into the field.
All right, Hope, thanks a lot. You know, this plane crash is the most clicked story on 11alive.com today. By the way, this is the second fatal flight in Georgia in less than 24 hours. Now, I spoke with a Metro Atlanta pilot who says it reminds him about the importance of safety. There are almost 16 million flights handled in the U.S. by the FAA every year, more than 43,000 a day. Planes large and small blanket the airways from coast to coast and beyond, which unfortunately increases the odds of something going wrong. Thousands of feet in the air. The NTSB says in 2017 there were more than 2,000 plane accidents and 696 fatalities. But according to the National Safety Council, planes are still much safer than automobiles.
Every flight you do a pre-flight.
Ben Capagrossi is a pilot and works at Aero Atlanta Flight Center. He says a detailed checklist helps those planes operate safely.
You're going to go out to the airplane with your checklist and do what's called a pre-flight walk-around. That's where you manually and visually inspect all the components on the aircraft and make sure everything is secured and there's no loose nuts or bolts or anything hanging off the airplane or anything is amiss.
Pre-flight checks can save lives.
Making sure the propeller doesn't have any nicks or cracks in it. Also checking the fuel. You sample the fuel in both of the wings to make sure there's no contaminants in the fuel that could disrupt the operation of the engine.
Ben says the recent deadly plane crashes in our area is sobering.
It's always a friendly reminder to never let down your guard while operating an airplane. Always assume the worst, plan for the worst, and expect something to go wrong, and that'll keep you safe.
All right, to get the latest information on this plane crash investigation and what's next, head to our website at 11alive.com. All right, the city of Atlanta will open up its doors to the old Adamsville Recreation Center tomorrow night at 6 p.m. To get, a lot of folks out there out of the cold. So, Sam, how's the weather shaping up overnight?
Well, tonight, not as cold, but wet and murky and foggy and misty. But then the cold air moves in tomorrow night. And so folks just need to be prepared for that next cold wave moving in. And tomorrow is the first day of winter. So very appropriate as far as the timing goes. Lots of rain out there heading in yet tonight. It's been rather misty this evening, but there is some heavier stuff that's going to be heading in the next couple of hours here. It's getting ready to cross right over the Alabama-Georgia border. And that's going to happen within the next hour or so. And then our rainfall rates are going to be picking up once again, and there's a lot of moisture out there yet to feed in. We've had over an inch, and we're expecting at least another half an inch. Visibility is, of course, still really limited, down to a mile now. Blairsville, Clayton, Canton, Gainesville, Carrollton, Peachtree City, 2 miles in Atlanta. So be careful on the roadways. The roadways are a little wet. and that visibility is limited, and it's going to stay that way all night long into tomorrow morning's commute. And we're also going to be seeing the rain. So as you head out the door tomorrow, be prepared for that foggy, misty, rainy commute. Those winds are going to be increasing to 30 miles per hour. We'll have gusts up to 30 tomorrow, so that's going to make it very blustery. And then behind this, that's when the cold air moves in, and we may have that wintry mix in the mountains, and we'll have more details on that coming up.
All right, thanks, Sam. I'm Natisha Lance. Another big shakeup tonight in the Trump administration tops our speed feed.
Defense Secretary James Mattis is stepping down in February. His decision comes just one day after President Trump shocked Congress and our allies by announcing plans to pull U.S. troops out of Syria. In his resignation letter, Mattis criticizes Trump's military decisions, saying he has the right to achieve, quote, whose views are better aligned with yours. On Twitter, the president thanked Mattis for his service and said a new secretary will be named shortly. 10 years in prison and another 20 on probation for sexually abusing 4 students. That was the sentence handed down to former South Gwinnett High School band director Billy Jones today, after he pled guilty to 20 counts of sexual assault. Check out all the green of Ohio's first legal pot harvest. 20 strands of medical marijuana are being grown at Cresco Labs. The dispensary also hopes to get a license to process edibles, oils, and more. Could Maroon 5 have some company on the Super Bowl 53 stage? Rapper Travis Scott? Several media outlets say Scott is close to signing a deal to perform in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. He's trending tonight in Atlanta, and people are not impressed. But so far, no one with Scott, Maroon 5, or the NFL has confirmed the report.
And this developing now, the fate of the federal government now back in the Senate's hands. Late tonight, the Republican-led House approved a temporary spending bill to avoid a partial shutdown that has almost no chance of passing the Senate. Lawmakers bowed to President Trump's demand, adding $5 billion to fund a border wall in Mexico. The resolution now heads to the Senate, which passed a wall-less spending bill last night. The deadline to keep things running is tomorrow at midnight, but our Jennifer Bellamy is tracking another group that wants to help fund the president's pet project.
Yeah, we the people will fund the wall. That's the call and the title of this online GoFundMe campaign, drawing a lot of attention. The aim is to raise $1 billion to help fund the border wall between Mexico and the U.S. The wall was a key issue for President Trump during the campaign and a big part of the immigration debate in our country. All day long, the amount of money promised from contributors has continued to grow higher. And right now it sits at more than $10 million for more than 168,000 people. Now, you might have seen the hashtag GoFundTheWall trending on social media as some people encourage friends to join the campaign, saying, I donated, while others mock the effort. Some people are saying that we have other things to worry about in the country. This money could be going to charities. This money could be going to veterans, because a veteran is the one who created this campaign. But some people saying that if Congress and our lawmakers aren't going to get this done, that they are going to put the money where their mouth is and get it done themselves.
All right, J. Bell, thanks a lot. Brand new video tonight, folks. A man sentenced to life in prison, now free after almost 2 decades, 19 years. Back in 2000, Christopher Williams was ordered to spend the rest of his life behind bars for helping a gunman rob a liquor store. Now, this was his second crime. And even though he was unarmed and got life, the gunman only got 10 years. Then the Southern Center for Human Rights took on his case, and today, a DeKalb County courtroom today, he was granted what he calls a blessing from God.
I didn't lose hope. Of course, it was a difficult time, knowing that I would be away from my family, but I didn't lose hope.
You know, Williams says he wants to work with young people now to help them stay out of trouble.